I feel strange, like I'm slowly becoming a maniac.
Me too, Bex.
I think we're all turning into maniacs.
Umbrella-holics.
We are the Umbrella-holics. I am your host for today, Stephanie Maniac.
I'm Rebecca Mildred Maniac.
And I'm Jay Maniac. Fuckers. For all you kiddies out there, the drink of the day is Zima. Cold, crisp, and refreshing. Can't pinpoint the flavor? Mix it with your favorite juice or pucker shot to really bring that bitch alive.
Today's episode is about the 90s. The 90s, where the 80s met the future, where the straight edge are eating Hot Pockets and secretly sipping on woodchuck cider, where cardigans were not only donned, but listened to on your local radio station, and where chokers, combat boots, and wallet chains changed the masses.
The angle of the dangle is equally proportionate to the heat of the beat.
Let's start this shit with a nice blast off of some rocket fuel.
Yep.
Let me get my Zima going.
Okay.
I'm going to pop mine. Zima came in cans too, didn't it?
No.
Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Natrovia!
Chin.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ugh. Ugh. They really need to flavor these things.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I threw a little apple puckers in mine.
Oh, that'll kill any fucking flavor.
Zima was so exciting to me as a kid. It seemed like finally a drink came out for me because beer is gross and wine is disgusting. But Zima I could tolerate. Now it's the opposite.
Yeah, now it's like, what the hell flavor is that exactly?
I was just gonna say that. How would we describe the flavor to anybody?
Isn't it kind of lemon limeish?
Kind of citrusy, but not overwhelming. Just like a hint of something.
But also nauseating.
It wasn't great, but I did like it, and I loved the bottles.
Yeah, I
They're
think
great.
of all the malt liquors, that would be or the malt beverages.
Do you remember, Becky, we used to throw crayons in those bottles and then melt them in the oven to create like a weird looking candle?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the Lost Horizon. IDs, please.
Oh, I have my library card and,
Will a Blockbuster card work?
Shit. I think I have my brother's ID somewhere.
Just get the fuck inside. Here's your stamp.
Can't believe we got into the Lost to see Dracula Jones. Don't get too close to the pit. People die in there.
Holy shit.
This is so rad.
Dez is looking fucking hot. It would be nice to see him without all that goddamn smoke and strobe lights.
I do declare Jeff Jones is looking tasty, sweat and all.
You know what, fuck it. I'm going in the mosh pit. Say a prayer for me.
Come on, Steph, let's go to the rotten couch with the spring sticking out. You got a ciggy for me?
Here, I only have clove cigs. Wait, what the hell is that, Jay? Climbing on a 3-story speaker?
Hey, girls. Made it just in time. Proud of me?
Fucking disastra. Have a beer. You are usually late.
Don't worry about it. Did you see that guy dive off the speakers? He's kind of cute, even with his Brandon Lee Crow hair.
What the? Why are you holding your face?
Here's why.
Wow.
Holy shit!
Can you even see out of that thing?
What the fuck did you do to your goddamn eye, dude?
I survived the speaker jump, only to get headbutted by that fucking big cue ball-headed tank bastard in the middle of the pit there.
He's scary.
You need to go rest on that rotten spring couch. That will cure you.
Yeah, right. That's no cool.
After this set's done, let's get out of here. I could use some Perkins.
You want to get a bright Bull display?
Yeah, and drink pots of coffee and smoke fucking cigs. So I'd like to tell a story of being at the Lost Horizon, which is actually a very famous venue in Syracuse, and I think all over the United States.
Yeah, man, a lot of popular people play there.
I visited my brother in San Francisco, and his friends had heard about it through magazines, and that was back in the early 90s. And I didn't even know that at the time when I was like, wow, you heard about the Lost Horizon? But when they would follow bands and they'd know where they were playing, they'd see images of like people like getting, the mosh pits and people like being carried over the crowds. You know, it was very impressive. My story, I think it was a Dracula Jones concert, jam-packed, and we get all excited going down into the mosh pit. And this young guy, I mean, I don't know how old he was, but he was probably in his either late teens or early 20s, decided to beat the hell out of me when I was in there.
What?
I don't know how it started or what he thought I was doing because I didn't touch him. And all of a sudden, he was taking swings at me.
Damn aggression.
Is this in the pit?
In
or
the
were
pit.
you...
He was pounding me. I got hit so many times with a fist, but with all the adrenaline, I didn't feel it. I didn't even have a bruise, which was weird. That was a very exciting night for me. Very, very much felt, wow, I hope that doesn't ever happen again. But mosh pits could be really aggressive, and they were very, very aggressive in there at times.
Yeah. I mean, I went and saw Quicksand there. I saw Clutch there. Seen a lot of good bands. My story is I tried to stay out of the pit because I knew I'd get my ass handed to me, even though I was bigger. I wasn't messing around. I go to the bathroom, hang out towards the bathroom because the air conditioning vents were back there, and it got hot. You know, that shit was above capacity. Anyway, I went into the bathroom one time.
Yeah, if there was a fire, we all would have fucking died within 5 minutes easily.
For sure. There was no getting out. I mean, we'd be burning down with it. I went to the bathroom. You know, you had to hover in that bathroom, right?
Oh, it's so disgusting.
So disgusting. Anyway,
Poor girls.
I know, it was bad.
I'm guessing that the men's room was worse, though.
I don't know. Is the men's room worse, Jay?
Well, you can just fucking spray anywhere and nobody gives a fuck. You know?
Oh,
That's why
okay,
I
it
think
is
it's
worse.
worse,
But
yeah.
still, I came out of the bathroom and there was this chick. She was sitting on the counter, like, waiting for me. And I'm like, what is this chick doing, man? She had like a skirt on and it was hiked up and she had her legs spread. And I'm like, is this like a porno? What am I coming out to? What's happening here? And she's like, do you like lipstick? Yeah, it's okay. I prefer chapstick. And she's like, yeah, I like lipstick. And she starts putting on this like cherry red lipstick and she's staring at me and I'm starting to get a little creeped out. I'm like looking at the exit, like, can I just run? And as she's putting on the lipstick, she's like, better to eat you with.
Oh, that's so gross.
Whoa.
I got out of there, man. I got out and went right for the air conditioning vent.
Do you know, one time there was a long line to get in the bathroom, and I told some of the drunk women that would always hang out in there, were like making all crowded. I said, there's a wasp nest in there. And they're like, what? And they left.
Really? It
Yeah.
worked? Okay.
It worked. And I don't know how they believed me, except maybe they were drunk.
Oh, sure.
That is brilliant.
Brilliant.
I got in there. I was able to go.
Jay, you got any stories?
Okay, yeah, I have a story, and it kind of goes like this. Whoa, feeling, maybe he'll see a little better Saturdays. Oh yeah.
Even flow.
Even flow. In the skit, in our recreation of The Lost Horizon, I actually did jump off the 3-story fucking speakers. My friend was like, everybody's jumping off the stage. I dare you to go climb the speakers. I haven't seen anybody do it. And I was like, buy me a beer and I'll do it. And he's like, all right, fine. So I climbed up on the speakers, jump in. Everybody caught me. Same thing with our little skit. I was in the mosh pit. Usually I put my hands in front of me. So when people bump into me, I instantly, push them away. I'm looking around and shit, just monitoring everything. I'm in the pit. And when I look straight ahead, within a millisecond, I see a bald head and then lights like stars. So he headbutted me.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
my eye was swollen shut. And I went home and my dad was like, what the fuck happened to you? What's going on here? We're just dancing. And he's like, what kind of dancing is this? I'm going to go beat the fuck out. I'm like, it's moshing, Dad. Everything's fine. He didn't believe me. He was grabbing his keys and shit. And he's like, we're going down there right now. And we're going to fight. And I'm like, Dad, it's part of the fucking, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I couldn't see it in my eye for like a month and shit. It was bad. It looked like I was in the fucking ring with Tyson for a couple of rounds.
That was a Dracula Jones concert?
Yeah, it was a Dracula Jones concert. But like when I got headbutted and I saw stars, next thing you know, I'm being dragged away and I don't remember falling to the ground. Next thing you know, my feet are sprawled out and my friends were pulling me out of the mosh pit. And,
Whoa.
I made a lot of friends at the Dracula Jones concerts, though.
Yeah, we always
Yeah,
met
man.
a lot of cool people.
Yeah, we had a big crew, a Dracula Jones crew.
It was a big deal. Do you remember first hearing about them? Like, my friend in school was like, "You got to see this band, Dracula Jones." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, this is just when we started getting our license and started going out and stuff. And I went to that first show and saw that opening with the Dez and the lights and everything and the smoke. That was it. You know?
It's that opener, man. That opener just brings you right in.
For a local band, they were great.
It was a cool moment in time.
Zero from Akron, Ohio. I don't understand who Umbrella Holics. Who is this?
Who is this? This is Edna.
Oh God,
Becky, you take this call. I ain't dealing with Edna.
What now? Why are you getting your blood pressure up?
Becca Maniac. Listen, the other day, my Tamagotchi died. It was very sad. Rest in peace. I went to the store to get a case of Zima to drown out my sorrows, and I see you. Yes, you taking the last Zima, you jack-off face.
Are you a smoke detector? Because you're really fucking loud and annoying right now.
I will choose to forget the whole ordeal if you buy and deliver to me 2 cases of Zima. Just page me, I'll come down. One of you shit hiccups teaches me the Macarena. I can't understand it. I look like an asshole over here. And you get me an appraiser for my Beanie Baby collection.
Listen, speaking of asshole, if I wanted to listen to an asshole, I'd fart.
Wow, what is happening over here? Listen, I'll give you a cut of my Beanie Baby millions, all right? If that'll make you happy, but we've got to solve this problem.
You're like a plunger, Edna. You keep bringing up old shit. I bought that Tamagotchi a while ago.
Yeah, I know. It died. It did not have a good life. What can I tell you?
Listen, I'm an acquired taste. You don't like me, acquire some fucking taste, okay?
Listen, we need to make a deal here, you fucking maniac.
Listen, Edna, since you know it all, you should know when to shut the fuck up.
I don't shut up when things are going wrong in the neighborhood, you sticks. And we're going to solve this problem.
All right, Edna, I'm going to have Steph Maniac drop you off a case of some Zima. We'll throw some apple puckers in there on the side to make it nice and sweet for you, okay?
Solve yourself for this whole ordeal.
the other day I was walking down the street and I saw a pile of dog shit on the sidewalk, and I thought of Edna.
Listen, once I make my millions, you fucknutters will be a blip in my mind.
Anything to say to that, Jason?
Edna, you're such a fuckface. I can't wait to party with you again and snort some coke at a karaoke bar like we did before.
That was a good night. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, Edna, listen, we're gonna drop the Zimas, and I'll drop that apple pucker, and then
Thank you.
and maybe I'll let you borrow my Tamagotchi, okay?
All right, that's very nice. And remember, get me an appraiser. I need to figure out how many millions I'm gonna get. This is important.
We can do that. But until then, go fuck yourself.
All right, and fuck yourself as well.
Love ya.
Love ya.
So my perception, thinking of 1989, of when 1990 was going to come, seemed like a huge event to me, almost like the way 2000 had come.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, okay, we're going to get rid of the 80s. I almost wanted to get rid of it. I couldn't wait for the 90s. I thought it was going to be something amazing. And there's a lot of great things that, happened in the 90s. But I think if I were to be given a choice, would you go back to the 80s or the 90s? I'd go back to the 80s.
I'm going to stay in the 90s, Bob, for 500. What about you, Jay? You staying in the 90s? You going to the 80s? What are you doing?
I really can't decide because the 80s were, when you're young, there's magic in the air. And Christmas is magical, and I got my Atari, and
exactly. That's how I feel. It was like, to me, it was like that's where magic existed for me. In the 90s, you're becoming a, like a young adult or whatever. And
See, that's where the magic existed for me, because that's where it was like I was drinking, I was having my first cigarettes, I was having my first kisses, prime of my life.
Realistically, the 90s were more freedom and the 80s had more magic. Like you said, Beck, we got our license, we're drinking, we're all meeting up, we're partying. The 90s sounded like the future. Like fucking Blade Runner is set in 2019. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to look like Blade Runner. It's going to be fucking
I know.
cars everywhere.
It's true. Well, do you remember how we met each other?
Yeah, I remember how we met each other. I was working at the comic book store. Steffi's sister Jess came in and she asked me out one day and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. We dated for like 2 weeks, nothing crazy. And then there was one time where I went to pick Jessica up and Steffi was at the house. And we went out to the road and had like cigarettes or something. And we started talking. And I'm like, we need to hang out. We need to make home movies. And, we would do cop movies and Batman and whatever the fuck. And I was doing home movies with my friends at that time. And then we all started hanging out at my place because my parents didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
My dad would sleep. We'd wake him up once in a while. It went from nobody at the house to suddenly there was a moment where
we're always hanging out there.
Yeah, there was this one moment where I remember we were all at my house. We were spilling out of my room into the hallway, and my dad wakes up and he's having to step over people. And he's like, "What the hell is going on, Jay?" And I'm like, "We're having some fun. Don't worry. Everything's fine." Yeah, and it went from there. And then from Steffi, I met Becky.
Mm-hmm.
And then Becky was friends with Disastra. You guys would all come over. We'd smoke cigarettes and fucking
did our slushy runs. Remember our slushy runs?
Yeah.
I cannot believe we don't have stage 4 fucking diabetes from all the slushies we drank at that time.
Yeah. The invention of the sloshka came from there.
Yep.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, Jay, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had that job, because if I recall, when you were working at the comic book store, you were tossing out other people's applications. And you just left mine. So the only person they get interview was me. And then I got it because there was only one person.
The dude would be like, the manager would be like, did anybody bring any applications in? And I would always put one under you that was really fucked up. So you were the clear choice. Yeah, we got you in because I was good with him. I cannot fucking believe they would let me run that store. And then with you there, what do you want to play now?
Fucking Maniacs.
I never had, remember we used to go down when you could fill out a credit card at JCPenney and get a free bag of candy or something. And we'd know about it and be like, we'd send each other on a run to get candy. And we'd have like loads of pixie sticks and all this stuff. And we'd be like, we're shaking. Because we'd have so much candy, we'd call it shaking. I was like, are you shaking yet? I'm shaking. All we did was eat candy. We never ate a normal lunch. It was basically...
Well, I know this because I worked down at the Halloween store and you fuckers would come and deliver candy to me for lunch.
Yeah, and you gave me a hand one time that had a remote control and you hit the button and the fingers would move around.
Yeah. Hey, man, you guys were bringing me my healthy lunch.
Yeah, I can't actually remember us eating a lunch. Maybe we ate Aunt Anne's pretzels next door, but that was it.
We survived on candy. A lot of candy.
Yeah, it was easy. It seemed like it was, it never made me sick. I always felt great. Now if I eat
always had energy from it.
Oh, if I eat it now, I go into a coma.
Yeah. Oh, we'd have full-blown diabetes for sure.
Yeah.
Diabetes. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about our favorite TV shows and movies of the 90s.
TV shows, I don't remember too much from TV shows, but I started getting into film because we went from making Batman at our house and Indiana Jones to thinking about film school. And I really started looking at film seriously. Run, Lola, Run. That's in my top 5 easily.
What's that called again?
Run, Lola, Run.
Really? You never seen that?
No.
That's a good one, Steph.
Oh my God, dude. It's fucking awesome.
Was it mainstream or was it? Okay.
No.
It's German.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about this girl Lola who gets a call from her boyfriend that he just lost, like, let's say $100,000 on the subway, and she has 20 minutes to save him, and there are 3 different outcomes of what happens. And it's a techno soundtrack, and rave shit was happening back then. And I remember being like, holy fuck. So that's a really visual for like a director, somebody wanting to be a director. That was a really visual, playful kind of thing.
I remember the 90s being so kind of fluffy at times, like The Craft.
True.
Like Hackers. Remember Hackers?
Mm-hmm.
They had a great soundtrack too.
You beat me to it. I was just gonna say it had a great soundtrack. And like movies like was it Go and
The Crow was a good
Oh
movie.
yeah.
We had
Everybody-
Mod
Oh
Squad.
yeah.
A lot of Claire Danes in the 90s, you know?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
My So-Called Life on television.
Yeah.
Right? Roseanne was another one that I'd watch in the 90s. I don't know why, but I just liked white trash families.
I was big into the comedies. I love Seinfeld. That's probably my favorite sitcom of all time besides Roseanne. I loved The X-Files. That was my other favorite show. Movies. I'm trying to think of a movie that
Clueless.
I really loved. No, not Clueless. I don't even think I've even seen that. Oh, gosh. What was the... I had it on the tip of my tongue, too, just a little while ago. I'll get back to that, but you guys go ahead.
No, I just went.
You just went?
Yeah,
Okay.
you cut me off.
Oh.
But that's okay.
I'm a maniac.
You are a
What do you do?
maniac. All right, pop quiz us, baby.
Okay, so I'm going to give you... Now, these are not the most popular in the sense of the way people would judge a movie. This is popular based off of box office money. Okay, so I'm going to start from 1990, go all the way to 1999. So there's 9 questions. So what is I'm going to give you multiple choice. You have to guess which one is the one that made the most money, which was number 1.
Okay.
Top box office hits in 1990. Your choices: Home Alone, Pretty Woman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghost.
Your first bet,
Home
go.
Alone.
Nope.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go with Ghost.
You are correct, sir.
Holy shit. All right, there's one.
Okay.
I think that was close though. I think it was close.
Okay, 1991. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Silence of the Lambs, Home Alone, Terminator. Okay, Becky.
Who got it?
Home Alone.
You know, it's some of them continue into the next year because I think when they're released, you know, maybe like December.
I got the answer.
Okay.
T2.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, top
That's-
movies. Go ahead.
That's one of 2 movies that I saw the most at a theater 6 times. I saw Terminator 2 6 times and Jurassic Park 6 times. Because Jurassic Park, like in the 80s, monsters, you know, you'd see the face, it'd be a puppet, and then when it had to walk, they would show a close-up of its feet, you know, somebody moving its feet. You never saw a wide shot.
Mhm.
And Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park to me were the future. Like Jurassic Park was, oh my God, we can do realistic creatures now. We can do anything. And then Terminator 2 was, this person could, you know, fall from the elevator, rise up silver metal and turn into a dude and come at the camera. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that.
I'm with you, Jason. That was probably one of the most watched movies. I went to the theater, and at the time, my cousin ran the Genesee Theater over, you know where that was?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And I used to
Yeah.
go, I would get in for free, even though movies were just $1.
I
anyways.
loved the Genesee, man. I saw
Oh, I
Pulp
love
Fiction
that.
there.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
went there like every time. I mean, as long as it played, I was there. I saw it like about as much as you did.
Mhm.
Okay, so 1993,
Mm-hmm.
Batman Returns, Sister Act, Lethal Weapon, Home Alone 2. Okay.
Home Alone 2!
You're really banking on.
Wait, am I right? You keep
No.
sitting there quiet.
You're wrong. I
Damn
would let-
it.
What about you, Jay?
What are the other 3 choices?
Lethal Weapon, Batman Returns, Sister Act, Home Alone 2.
Batman Returns.
Correct.
All right.
I'm just going to keep saying Home Alone.
Until
I think you're done with Home Alone. There's
Yeah,
no more
they're
Home Alone.
in 1994.
All right, this one's mine. I'm owning this one.
Okay. True Lies, The Santa Claus, Forrest Gump, The Lion King. Okay.
Lion King.
Yes, Becky got it right.
Yes!
What were you going to say, Jay?
I was gonna say, was it Forrest Gump?
No, it's Lion King.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
94 was my jam, though. It was my favorite year.
Okay, so this is 1995.
Okay.
Toy Story, Pocahontas, Apollo, Batman Forever. Okay, Jay, go ahead.
Toy Story.
Nope.
What was the other 3?
Batman Forever, Apollo, Pocahontas.
Batman Forever.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. We're tied. Or maybe he's
I
3
thought
too.
it was 3.
He's
It's
3
3,
too. Sorry.
Okay. All right, 1996. The Rock, Mission Impossible, Twister, Independence Day. Okay.
Independence Day.
Correct.
Yay!
You fucker.
We're tied 3-3. Is this the tiebreaker?
Let's do the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Okay. 1997. Men in Black, The Lost World, Jurassic Park,
Ooh.
The Liar, Air Force One.
Lost World,
Wow.
Jurassic Park.
No.
The first one you said.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Men in Black?
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
You fuckface.
Anything can
Decades ahead.
happen.
There's something I wanted to say to you, Beck, okay?
Okay.
Whoa, Neelan, looking through the paper, no, he doesn't know to read. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Umbrella holics.
Most memorable and quintessential 90s concerts. I remember, Jay, when did you remember how obsessed we were with
Sade?
Sade? It's all we
Yeah.
played. Did you see her in the 90s or was that the 2000s?
No, I did. My first major girlfriend broke up with me at around the time I got tickets to Sade and Seal. And I ended up taking my friend, and I saw Sade. She was perfect. I mean, along with like people like Astrud Gilberto, Bjork, they have their own tone of voice, and it's just really lovely to hear. And then on the way to Sade, I think it's called, they pronounce it Sade. I mean, Sade.
I never heard Sade.
Sounds like a shark.
Well, if you fucking if you Google it or whatever, it'll say Sade.
But there's
like,
no R in there. It's SADE, isn't it?
Yeah, it's SADE.
Sade.
Oh shit!
Shark Day.
She's doing capfuls of
That's
vodka.
funny.
I
That's
know.
like-
Wait, she's doing some more. Wait, you doing another hit of vodka right now?
Yeah, just a capful.
Well, why didn't you fucking notify me? I'm holding up a shot next to the microphone right now.
She's just
Okay.
spooning capfuls over and over in her mouth, so it's
Well,
too.
tell her to fill it up and let me know when it's 3, 2,
All right,
1.
ready?
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
it's gonna drip all over.
1, 2, 3, go.
Chindan.
Shindog.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious!
How is it, Steph? How's the driveway vodka?
It's smooth.
It's smooth. Oh my
Oh, that
lord!
sounds great.
In the 90s, we had the best of every world. The 70s and the 80s carried into the 90s, and then you had the new stuff in the 90s, which was like, grunge and industrial and 9-Inch Nails and all
What a
sorts.
good R&B and rap too.
Oh
A lot
yeah, I
of
mean
fun
it was
Hip
just
hop was great.
popping off in the 90s. Missy Elliott was big in the 90s. You had like
Rave
Timbaland.
shit.
Yep. I mean, every genre of music was in the 90s, and it was all glorious. Only
How
because,
much you
like,
drinking, man?
I know. I was thinking about how all our friends liked everything. It's like they liked a little bit of everything, little DOS effects mixed with a little bit of DMX, mixed with a little bit of Smashing Pumpkins and the Dead Milkmen and the Kennedys. I mean, you just name it. It was all mixed together. Everybody liked everything.
Yeah.
And Vanessa Dow.
Oh, yeah. I remember Vanessa Dow.
All right. Why do I know who this is? Who's Vanessa Dow?
She did really bad, like, techno kind of.
I don't know. who that
like Portisheady, like down tempo in the black forest.
Yep,
it's
and that
like-
was like her best song. In the black
Yeah.
forest.
So
Dude, do you know? Let me just quickly tell you about Vanessa Dow. I fucking fell asleep on my couch because I at one point in my room I didn't have a bed. I just had a couch for people to chill, and I was falling asleep on the couch, and I woke up and it was VH1 was on the fucking station. That fucking video started right up, and then the next day I called Becky and everybody up and like fucking Vanessa Dow, man.
I remember that. I actually remember that.
So what was your first concert, Beck?
Oh man, I think it might. Well, my first 90s concert was Rage Against the Machine with
Lucky bastard.
7 Year Bitch with Cypress Hill, and there was someone else there. It was like a quadruple play at Buffalo College. I went with Disastra.
Oh right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I think after that was like a Lollapalooza, which was just insane. It had the Beastie Boys, the Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, every big name was there. It was amazing. Juanes Addiction.
Didn't they bring a big ass joint onto the stage for fucking Cypress Hill?
Yep, and it was Hits from the Bong. And they were like
Yeah.
rolling out this giant hand with a giant joint, and there was smoke, and everyone lit up. And if you had pneumonia, you should not be in there.
If you had asthma.
Yeah, or asthma.
And didn't one of your friends get sick and Disastra had to take care of her? And Disastra has a picture with Tom Morello, but
Yeah.
all of you are in it, and she's not in it because she was taking the picture.
No, that was me. I took the picture.
Oh, she's not in that though.
No, she's not in it. I'm not in it. She wasn't in it. I was
She was taking care of the friend that was sick.
Right. And she's not in the picture.
Oh, can you fucking believe that you got that didn't happen? You know, that you weren't in that picture.
I'm pissed because everyone's like, remember that? And I'm like, yeah, I took it. And I'm like, why am I always behind the camera?
Jessica was with you, right?
Yeah, she's in it. She's in the picture. Bunch of people jumped in there that it was like, get the. Oh well, I took it. At least they know I took
Was
it.
House of Pain at that one?
I don't remember if they were. I don't think so.
Kinda
But there
seemed
were
like around the
4
same
people
time.
there. Might have been House of Pain. I remember that. Jump around, jump up, and get down.
My first concert, I think it was 1990. My dad, because he worked in television, would get free tickets to a lot of stuff. And at the state fair, Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians were there.
Yeah.
And Don Henley was the second act. Well, kind of sad when great people have to be the second act. But the weird thing is, Jess and I were so happy just being there. It was like our first concert. Don Henley was coming up, and we're like, we're done. Let's just go home and enjoy it. Like, we didn't want to stay for Don Henley, which I really regret.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do, man? It's
Yeah.
what I am is what I am and what you are.
Yeah.
But then after we're leaving the concert, we had to meet my dad was picking us up. We saw the tour bus, and she waved to us from the tour bus. We like lost our minds.
So you said hi to Edie Brickell
with a wave. Yeah.
Do you remember Lilith Fair?
Yeah, I've never been to those. They used to seem like it would be like a really awesome time.
I went through a few years of like girl rock music, Sarah McLachlan,
Feminist rock.
Tori Amos, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like Tori Amos.
Really?
I don't know. There's just certain ones that just annoyed me, but I think she's good, but I just wasn't my thing.
You didn't like her flaming red locks?
Straddling the piano chair. It's like she's grinding the piano chair.
She did. She ground it.
Do you want another shot, Jay?
You take it easy. You told me to cap you.
I know.
No. All right. Yeah. All right. Don't challenge me, man.
All right.
Here she goes. She's poured. She's poured, and
I'll count down this time. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Blast off. My first concert was around the time that we all started getting our licenses. It was Stone Temple Pilots and the Butthole Surfers. And, yeah, at Darien Lake. And Stone Temple Pilots is one of my all-time favorites. But at that time, their first album, Core, hit. We all went crazy for it. My friend Dan was going to drive there. He pulls up into my driveway. His fucking hood is halfway up. He's like, dude, I can only go like 30 miles an hour. We can't go. I look over to my dad's van. Now, in the morning, he said, no matter what you do today, don't fucking take that van because the tire is really bad and it could blow. And I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. So now Dan's telling me this shit, and I'm looking at the van, and I'm like, I'm not fucking missing Stone Temple Pilots, dude. So we had weed and all this shit. Grab the keys, go to Stone Temple Pilots. We're in the general seating section. Butthole Surfers go on, great, whatever. Stone Temple Pilots come on, and in the general back area seating section where it was all grass, everybody started moshing all over the fucking place, and it was the best shit ever. About their 6th song, I'm jumping around, I'm fucking smoking a cigarette, I'm looking around and shit. I notice t-shirts flying in the air. And I'm going, what? Why are people throwing t-shirts? Because I'm gonna grab them. But then I noticed that they were in the general seating area in the back with the grass. They were tearing up the sod and throwing it into the air. So and then we're in the back area. Then the front area with actual seatings, those people started getting hit, and then the cops started coming our way, and then cops started coming from the fucking left and right. So we get out of there. We escaped. People were getting tackled. People were getting grabbed and fucking all this shit.
What the hell? At an STP concert?
Yeah, and I can't believe that we all made it to the fucking van. So we're in the van. And my friend Dan's like, I'm gonna fucking drive because I'm freaking out. And he drove like 95 miles an hour, and the tire did not blow. We were blasting fucking like Ace of Spades, the Ace of Spades, fucking Motorhead, and we were speeding around. And we get home, we pull into the driveway, and my dad is standing in front of the driveway, smoking a cigarette, looking at me. I look to my friend Paul and I go, "You're staying over tonight, or he's gonna kill me." He's like, "Dude," I go, "You're fired, or you're staying over tonight." And he's like, "All right, fine." So I get up to the, we pull in, everybody exits, and they get into Dan's car and they leave, and Paulie and I are standing there. And my dad, he just grabs my shirt and pushes me back and forth, and you hear my shirt like ripping, like, and he's like, "I fucking told you, but I got to go to work now." And then he got into the van and went to work. Paulie saved me, dude, because I don't know what would have happened to me.
Do you remember John who worked at the other store on, the Twilight that was on Bear Street?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So him and I were friends. He got free tickets from somebody. So I don't know what year this was, but they played at the War Memorial, and they were with Cheap Trick. And the Cheap Trick concert was awesome. That was, to me, amazing. When Stone Temple Pilots came on, I wasn't really a huge fan of them, but they sucked. The drummer was so way off. It seemed like something was wrong. And
they were high. All of them.
I think so. And the singer acted pissed off. You know how like most concert people, I mean, it might be that they're pandering to the people, but they say nice things like, "I love being here in Syracuse," or whatever. He just went right into the concert. They sounded crappy, and then it was over. I was like, wow, that really sucked. Even John, who's a drummer himself, was like, that was terrible.
Well,
I was at that concert.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I took my girlfriend's little sister to that at the time, and she was freaking out because people were smoking weed everywhere.
Wow.
I don't even remember that. Do you recall that the drummer was like offbeat? It was like he was like just a step behind, for like a second or two.
We were in a nosebleed section in the back.
I was in the front.
So everything, I couldn't even tell what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Oh, we got mail.
Nice.
Oh. Steph Maniac. It's a package for you.
It's for me. Wow.
Yeah. Jeez, you need a knife to get into this thing, don't you?
I can try to rip it apart.
Okay, can try to rip it, but be careful. There's stuff in there, you know.
Oh.
Let me help you. Here, go ahead and pull the paper. There you go. Wow. Oh.
Whoa.
So basically,
Wow, it smells like patchouli.
Definitely the 90s then.
Smells good.
What do you got?
Well, one, it is a plaid button-up shirt, like the grunge style.
Oh, a flannel?
A flannel.
Oh.
And
Beautiful.
we're going to open it up.
It's like Christmas every week.
What's that?
It says, "Help. Kurt and Tupac are still alive. And they have taken me for ransom. They aren't really dead. Eddie Vedder." Oh. And in case, what's that say? In case you're wondering, oh, I'm still alive. It has Tupac and Kurt Cobain in it.
Because they took fucking Vedder, man.
So, speaking of 90s bands, Tupac was in, what was that one before he became Tupac? It was Digital Underground?
Yeah, the Humpty Dance.
The Humpty Dance. I love that whole album.
The bass is so cool. Boo, woo, boo, woo.
That was a bomb
It's
song.
Sex Packets.
Yep.
Sex Pack, $1 or $2.
What else you got in there, Steph Maniac? Here, I'll help you.
Let me see. All right. Oh, blackjack gum and clove chewing gum.
Wow, is that a blast?
That's all we chewed back then.
Yep.
Is this a headband or a
Yeah.
I had a black headband. It's kind of like a scrunchie, I guess, but
a big black
thick,
headband.
You know. Yeah, I used to wear those.
Wow.
Oh my God. Safety pins. Everyone had safety pins. I tried to pierce my ear with a safety pin.
I did
had a
too.
wicked infection.
Me too. That's how I
There they
pierced
are.
my ears.
And
Use
safety
people-
pins on her jacket.
Yeah,
too,
man,
or
it was punk rock to have safety pins.
glow
Yep,
sticks for
for
the
sure.
raves. These are glow sticks.
Yay! I'll take you.
Tribal tattoos. Gonna put a tramp stamp above my butt crack.
Hey, tribal tattoos were big in
Okay.
the 90s.
Yeah.
What do you got on the back?
It's got a lot of Japanese type of tattoo, like sayings. They got love.
All the kanjis,
Yeah, all the kanjis. And on the other side, there's a sun. There's those weird like tribal designs
for the ones the guys had around their arms.
Totally hideous.
Yeah.
Black paper. Okay, with just the wrap. What was that? 90s thing? Taste Squad?
No,
but flavored lip balm, which was for girls, that was a big. You had to have it. You had to have something.
Lip
on
smackers.
You. Lip smackers.
Ah.
Yeah.
But that might have been good for the guys. They kissed their girlfriend with the
Yeah.
nice flavored Aquanet.
Yeah, because that shit traveled from the
Becky,
80s
you
to the
gonna be using
90s.
that?
It
Might
pretty
take
much
us-
died in the 90s, right?
It died in the 90s, I think. But this stuff really works. So my hair is
Your
like,
take. This
I
is
will
all
take it.
yours.
All right, get to take this home.
Yes.
Oh my
This
god.
is your gift.
Does
Thank
that
you.
Aquanet actually still spray?
Well, she's gonna find out.
How old is this, Beck?
It's new.
Ready? Yeah, it sprays.
Oh shit.
Thank you.
That must have been from Vetter, because that must have been a bribe to get him to help him.
It could be he gave me all of Vetter's stuff. I got his flannel. I got his gum. I got his girlfriend's hairspray.
That gum is the shit, man. I remember that gum.
Yummy, yummy.
You're all set to go for the Dracula Jones concert.
Yeah.
In the late 80s and early 90s, the flannel was really big too with the rap scene, because you'd button that top button and wear your white t-shirt underneath and you'd look all gangsta.
I really enjoyed the combat boots in the 90s. I enjoyed the baggy pants and the t-shirts that you layered with the long sleeves underneath.
I liked it. I liked all the fashions from the 90s, but I wouldn't go back for some reason. Now I'm wearing pretty much like booty pants, like 80s, like pinched.
No, the fashion in the 90s was like the music, like Becca Maniac was saying. It was, on one spectrum colorful, and another spectrum it was grunge and everything in between. I miss that, because like now you don't see the different flavors of dressing and fashion.
Yeah, all the kids, everyone was wearing the same type of shit. The hipsters are the only thing that's slightly different, and even that's annoying. It's like lumberjacky and cheese.
Well, you know what it is? I think when I first moved to New York City in 2000, the major stores hadn't taken over, and there were all these different shops that had different types of clothes. So I would go to one place and get rave clothes, and then they had a goth store, and you'd get flyers for the parties and everything, and they were all over the place, and then they all disappeared. And now we only have even in New York City, we only have different, H&M and bunch of things that have sort of taken over, and those little stores have disappeared. Search and Destroy was a really awesome place on St. Mark's. Oh man, it was so cool. It was fucking great. Everybody shopped there, like Debbie Harry and Billy Idol and all that. Yeah, it's gone. And I think that's when all those little things go away, all those little different flavors, we're left with only a couple of choices.
I remember the one great thing about here, which you don't see anymore at all, were thrift stores that had all the stuff from the 60s and the 70s. And you could find it everywhere, and you could find it at garage sales. And I remember I went to a house that we were checking out this garage sale, and the people were from Italy that owned it. And the woman kind of knew she shouldn't sell us all these bell bottoms because she thought we were going to do drugs, or I don't know which we were. And they had the biggest bell bottoms I ever bought in my life. They were humongous. They were and they were perfectly kept. Like, it was like she took care of all the clothes so well in that house. Nothing was wrong with them.
That's why I'm saying the 90s was glorious.
I know, that was the great thing, because now you go into a thrift store and all you see is giant t-shirts that are terrible, just horrible clothes. There's nothing.
Tight jeans.
From
Everyone's
a long
wearing
time ago.
tight jeans now, tight pants.
You don't even see 90s stuff.
No.
It's just gone.
No, there's no Django's.
The cars suck, have no flavor. The movies are a couple of different genres, and it goes down the line. But I gotta tell you a tragedy. In the 90s, once all the 70s stuff started coming back, on the porch of our house, my dad had a couple of closets. It was full of all his disco 70s shit. And he had clogs, and he had rows of fucking shoes and suits and everything. And once the 90s came around and that started coming back, I went to go look. He'd sold them all. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you didn't even get his clogs?
They were an immaculate preservation. Or what do you call those?
I don't know if they were clogs.
Platforms?
Yeah,
or-
platforms.
The platforms. Yeah, the platforms. Yeah. Shit. Clogs are chick shit. Anyway.
Yeah. That's why when you kept saying clogs, I'm like, what the fuck
I
is your
used-
dad doing?
I know.
Wait, you know what my problem is? I need another drink.
Okay.
Okay, I'm spilling my drink everywhere.
Steph and I are going to try out some of this old, this is probably 1990s clove gum I found. I don't know how I found this, but I found it.
That Black Label shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit, it's hard, but it's delicious. Not as good as...
Delicioso.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like the clove better.
Clove is better.
Yeah. Clove is
What
good.
What does it taste like if you had to describe?
Licorice.
Yeah, black licorice for the blackjack.
I'd be throwing up.
And then, but the clove is like having a clove cigarette and that sweet part of the filter
Mhm.
that hits your tongue. Mm.
That's good.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Who
Oh.
the hell could it be? Could it be the ghosts of Christmas 90s past? Let's see.
Well, we know it ain't Edna.
Yeah, she's probably in, Reno right now. She moves around very fast. Umbrella Holics, what you fucking want?
Hi, it's Disastra. I'm calling from the pantry.
Oh, wow, okay.
I heard you're talking about the 90s.
Well, yeah.
Do you know the movie Pump Up the Volume?
Girls, do you know Pump Up the Volume?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, yeah, what about it?
What about the best movie ever? Cuffs?
Cuffs?
What?
That movie Cuffs with the fucking bloke from fucking Ghost and Christian Slater?
Oh, Christian Slayer, man.
You know what? Didn't you have his poster on your fucking wall?
Okay, don't worry about it. Do you know Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know Skeet Ulrich. She was in Scream.
What about him?
Oh, he was in Scream and The Craft. He's hot too.
You call my show to just gush about other dudes from the 90s? You're sleeping in the tub tonight, okay?
Sorry, it won't happen again.
Okay. Anybody else you want to drool over?
No.
Okay, well, I'll see you later, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, great. Later.
Is she taking
Testosterone?
I think she drank too much Zima in the 90s. All right, let's go pee.
What? We you have to pee
I
again?
have a 2-minute bladder.
What the fuck?
Look, if I could fucking help it, I would fucking help it.
You need a fucking jug at the
I
table.
know, just bring a jug to the table.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
So, Jay, I've heard you've been to a lot of raves in the 90s. I have never gone to one. Becky, have you been to
I've been
any?
to a few with Jay Maniac.
Oh.
So I'd like to hear some of these stories because it would be the first time that I heard them.
Oh, okay. Well, Jay's got some good ones.
Yeah, you go for it, Jay.
I'll give you one where I fucked everybody up. So we're in New York City. It's near my birthday, and some people at work give me a tray full of Rice Krispie treats. I try one night. I try it like a regular dose, and I'm trying to watch TV, and my eyes are shutting, and I'm sinking in the couch. I'm like, this is really fucking strong. So I'm thinking if I party with anybody, I'll give them a half a dose. So I'm with an artist group, and we're about to go to this rave. You know, we all hop in the car. I give everybody a half a dose, a half of a fucking Rice Krispie treat. And I'm driving, and I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and they're eating the Rice Krispie treat with fucking Red Bulls, like giant Red Bulls. And I'm going, and these people don't smoke. And I'm going, don't do that. They down it and everything. We get to the rave. We drive by. I look to the right, and I can see in the rave, it's this warehouse in Brooklyn. It looks fucking amazing. You know, lights and shit, everybody, people everywhere. We go to look for a parking space. We park. And then two of the chicks that were with us were like, we're freaking out. We're starting to freak out. Mind you, I didn't even mention, I look like fucking The Crow and Robert Smith and Sisters of Mercy all in one. My friend is dressed like Kiss, and the girls are just dressed all crazily. So we get out of the car. They're hyperventilating, and we have to call the cops and the fucking ambulance and everything. So the ambulances come, and one of the girls gets in an ambulance, and the ambulance driver's like, what'd you guys do? And I go, well, we ate some pot brownies. And he starts fucking laughing. Yeah, he starts laughing.
I'm surprised that pot brownies could do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe it was more than that. I don't know.
No, it was just pot brownies.
Wow. I never even had pot brownies.
Those were
before.
lightweights, right, Jay? Were
They can be
lightweights?
they were lightweights, but this shit was pretty intense even for me. So one of the girls goes to the hospital and the guy dressed like Kiss goes with her. The other girl freaking out, she's like, drive me home. So I'm in the back seat with her because I know she's going to be puking. The other girl with us who didn't take anything starts driving. Every couple of stoplights, I have to open up the door and dip the fucked up girl's head out the door, and she's puking. And this was every couple of stoplights. We get her home. I get the driver home, and by the time I get home, my brownie started hitting me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna chill and get the update from the hospital. And I see Disaster, and I tell her the whole fucking thing. And she goes, by the way, you got this in the mail. And I open it up, and it's my DVD of Cocaine Fiends. So while I'm waiting for the fucking call from the hospital and to see if the girl who was puking everywhere is fine, I'm chilling out watching fucking Cocaine Fiends, like, and the brownies hitting me. And every time it seems like I get people together for a rave or a big party, something weird happens. But whenever I'm alone, it ends up being carefree. Luck, you know.
It's always the way.
And where was the rave
people
that you went to with him?
With Jason?
Yeah.
Damn, I went to quite a few of them.
Buffalo Pier?
Yeah, we went to one in Buffalo, and we had brownies again.
Were these underground parties like?
No,
they were like.
This was a rave, and he gave me a brownie, and I remember going to the rave, and this one you had that super bouncy ball. Remember that super bouncy ball?
Yeah.
It lit up and would glow.
I remember those.
And so at nighttime we would play games with the super bouncy ball, and everyone was super jealous. Right? It was fun though. We'd include them in. We played bouncy ball with the other ravers. Anyway, I was waiting for this, brownie to kick in. Nothing was happening, man. Nothing was happening. I don't think it was happening to any of us. And then Jay says, yeah, all we need to do is smoke a joint and that'll set it off. So we smoked. We smoked a joint. I was feeling absolutely nothing. Smoked a joint and it triggered it. And I had to have Disaster drive me home. I had to leave the rave. Disaster and I went to Perkins and got a bread bowl.
Yeah.
And I believe she might even have a picture of this. I was sitting across from her. Disaster could tell this story too. Do you remember this, Disaster?
Your eyes were all red. And I was really concerned because I didn't know what was going to happen. Just stared off with your really red eyes.
You said I looked possessed. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Man, I fucking love these clubs, but they're kind of weird, aren't they?
I'm liking it, but it's kind of fun to like stare at the people at how they're dancing, the clothes that they're wearing.
I know.
Did that dude lose his contact on the floor over there?
Yeah, that's called the contact lens dance.
Oh.
Man. You gotta watch out for that chick over there that's flinging her cigarette around. She's trying to burn people.
Yeah, she rocks back and forth and swings her arms, and then she just stings people while they don't even know it until it's too late.
She's like a gothic scorpion.
Let's get something to drink. What do we got? We need fucking drinks fucking now. What are we doing?
Sanctuary, what he's ordering?
I guess I'll have a Bloody Mary, because it seems like that's the type of drink you could get here.
I'm gonna have an amaretto sour.
I'll have an Alabama Slammer.
Dude, you see that guy with the flying white robe?
Looks like a priest.
Does he have a wallet chain hanging down?
Why is that guy throwing fire from his wrist and trying to light the drapes?
Look at that dude. His elbows look like they're nailed to his sides.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go dance. I'll see you in a bit.
How's your Bloody Mary?
I don't know. I don't think I like it very much.
Yeah, my amaretto sour kind of sucks ass too. Hey, look at Jason over there. Is he doing the mopey two-step?
I don't know. Kind of looks like the startled chicken to me.
Oh no, he's doing the picking the curious fruit.
Well, it's in slow motion.
Yeah.
Hey girls, can I buy you a chalice of blood?
Who are you?
Oh, he sounds like that dude from Typo Negative.
I want to bite your veins and run in the forest with blood all over our shiny chests.
Take it easy there, Vampire Phil, alright? She'll have a Bloody Mary and I'll take an amaretto sour.
And that's as far as it's going tonight.
Oh god, I'm back. Alright.
Jason, you missed it. A vampire.
What?
A vampire came up to us and bought us drinks.
Yeah, Vampire Phil.
Vampire Phil.
Yeah.
I was smoking cigarettes with him outside. He said he works in computer science, and if we need graphics for Umbrellaholics, whatever.
No, he was like, black, 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 number one.
Okay. So what did you think of those characters in the goth clubs?
Let's explain the dance moves to the people so that, like, we came up with the finding the contact lens.
Right.
Because there would be goth chicks or guys that would kind of rock back and forth and get lower and lower onto the floor. And it was like they were picking something up off the floor, then gazing at it.
Very delicately.
Yeah, and then raising their arms towards, then getting up, raising their arms
picking
towards
the fruit.
The top. Yeah, and then that was picking the fruit once they got back up. And it looks like they were grabbing something out of the air.
They were doing the tree.
And the mopey two-step, that is something where they kind of sway their arms back and forth and step back and forth to the music. And they look kind of mopey,
Yeah.
Those were that's all you ever saw back then. And like when we're joking about the guy with the white robe, I literally saw college student. I knew who he was. It was one of Amy's friends. And he was wearing like an outfit that you'd wear in church, like the acolyte or the altar server, the white robe, but he had some other
Everybody had a persona though. You had Lewis the Warlock, remember him?
Yep.
Lewis the Warlock used to wear duct tape around his arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
And he would shoot flames.
Yeah, he had like a little machine
out of his wrists, like a magician.
He'd flick his wrist.
Yeah,
he'd flick his wrist, and fire would come shooting out.
And then we had Jason. You knew someone. Who was he?
Well, I knew a dude who went by his Christian name, Chuck the Vampire, and he always wore a cape and had the teeth. I met him at OCC. It's like a community college. And he knew I was a filmmaker, and we started hanging out and stuff. And yeah, he had all sorts of parties. He wanted me to film a video of him running around in the forest with his shirt off and the cape and blood, and like he was biting some chick. We never really got around to doing that.
Sounds like the plot of Twilight.
Yeah, great parties with Chuck the Vampire, though. Yeah,
I used to go to underground parties with Fat Edward Scissorhands.
Where'd you meet Fat Edward Scissorhands?
Through a mutual goth industrial friend, and he would wear the platform black like Frankenstein shoes. And
what was his first name? Do you know his first name?
No, I actually.
Or is it just Fat?
Fat Edward.
And his middle name was Edward, right?
Yeah, and he had super cure hair. He had super cure hair mixed with Edward Scissorhand hair. And he danced.
Where was he floating around, though? Was he floating around at where?
You could catch him up at Marshall Street. He liked to go into the record store up there, and and we go to the into the diners and get some coffee together. Nobody ever looked at him sideways, but he was a strange dude. I remember he would have a meltdown every time he heard Ziggy Stardust. He thought he was the Spider King.
Where are these people now? That's what I want to know.
Have
they moved on?
They're probably middle-aged, bald, big bellies, drinking beer with 5 kids.
Well, the last time we typed in Fat Edward Scissorhands and Lewis the Warlock, nothing came up.
No.
Well, no. I was, I had a few not dates because I wasn't dating Lewis, but he liked me. So he asked me out to go like for Chinese buffet. Goth at the Chinese buffet. He was like fully gothed out.
He was not goth. I don't know what the hell he was.
There was
warlock.
A mom with her little girl, and the little girl was like hid behind her mom's legs when she saw him. And I was like, oh, I felt bad.
Did you go? You went?
I went with him.
She went on a date with Lewis the Warlock.
You know what? I've never known this to be true.
Me neither.
But he was the biggest nerd ever. Yeah, no, he was a super nerd, and I think it was his way of like getting attention because he'd be the type of kid that would probably get beat up, like
or shoot a school up.
And he wants the persona of like a gutter goth punk, like a gutter punk, but gutter goth.
Never heard of it.
But he was rich.
Never heard of gutter goth. Yeah, he was rich.
He was very, very.
But he used to take
rich.
The Centro bus with me to college.
Yes, because he wanted the image that he was poor, and he wanted people to take advantage of him. Hence, I ended up paying for my dinner that night. He invited me out.
I don't believe he was rich. This was all.
No, he said his family owned car dealerships, and then he inherited because someone died, and he says it's like in a trust, so he can't spend all of it all at once, but he has
He
it.
couldn't even afford dinner.
Dude,
No, he
no
wouldn't.
one-
He was a cheap ass bastard. And then he tried to give me a black rose that he dyed himself at the end of our date. And I was like, wow, that's really nice of you. That's cool. Thanks. Yep. Well, hey, I'll call you some other time. And then I tossed it in the garbage as soon as I got in the house. I was like, "Bleh."
No wonder why he had a Game Gear back in those days. Nobody had a Game Gear.
No one could afford
know?
him. Yeah.
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 No, he was rich. He said he didn't want anyone to know. And he was so nerdy, I couldn't take it. And the last time I had heard from him, which was not, shortly after that date or whatever, that he was moving somewhere to learn to be an apprentice to make swords.
That's a natural progression.
Yes.
It is for a warlock.
Yeah. He had a big sword collection, too, at his house.
So, Steffi, you weren't at the party when Lewis was there. I think it was New Year's.
I was probably
And he was
there.
doing, and my dad came out. I didn't know my dad was home. He was in his fucking room sleeping at like 11:30. He goes, by midnight, everybody's out. And then he started drinking beers and went to sleep, and he left us alone. But anyway, but Lewis is there.
He was there shooting flames from his wrist, trying to do the party tricks for us.
Well, other stuff that I wanted to talk about was the
Yep.
crazy shit that we did in the 90s.
Oh, boy.
Just like for an example, we started this thing. I don't know who's the original inventor of it, but it was something that I never heard of until the 90s. Was bumper skiing. You could only do this in the wintertime, technically.
I did that, Steffi.
Yeah.
By buses. Like the buses would go near our school. And they're really slow, and you can easily get on them and just go down a side street.
And that's an easy grab because it's at like a good height, where a car you got to crouch down, grab that bumper.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a bumper skiing story?
Well, Becky was driving her like 1988, what's it, Oldsmobile?
Delta.
Oh, it's humongous. And it was only a 4-door, but it looked like it could have had 8 doors. It was so big.
It was a boat.
Had a nice rumble to the car too. It was like that low car rumble.
It was that ugly, putrid brown.
Yeah, it wasn't a good looking car, but it was the only car that you were like the only person that had a car at one time.
Yeah, the ceiling had fallen down, and I had used push tacks to push it up, and it looked like a badly upholstered couch.
Oh, but so anyways, we were leaving. I think it was either Ryan's house. It was either his house or it was Amy's apartment, and we probably were drinking or whatever. I don't know. And you're like, let's do bumper skiing. It was just me and you. No, I don't.
I have no recollection of this, so I must have been drunk
Yeah.
or something.
So we're going down the streets. I'm holding on to the back. She's probably going about 15 miles per hour, and she starts going faster, and I'm holding on. And I had this like military jacket that was really rigid, and it had a big collar that kind of like zipped up in the front, like it was to protect your neck, I guess. I don't know. We're going, I think she must have been going about 20 and then a little bit faster, and I'm laughing, and she's got the window down and checking up on me like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, keep going. Well, it was nice and snowy in the streets. No one had plowed yet, but she hit a dry patch.
Oh.
So my legs went flying, and now I'm holding on for
Oh,
dear
that's
life.
a danger. That's
And-
like when you're on a skateboard and you hit a rock.
Yep.
You know?
So I'm holding on. My legs are out and
Dragging behind you?
and my giant collar on my jacket was scooping up like dirty slush.
Oh.
It was just like being shoved down my jacket. I was like, ah!
I didn't even stick my head out and go, are you all right?
Well, you were, but then at that point, you didn't know what happened, and finally you stopped.
I liked how we always ended up going on adventures with absolutely no money.
Oh yeah, we did that a lot.
You just get in the car and go far, and wherever you ended up was where you ended up.
Jay, we went all the way. We drove all the way down to the original Woodstock festival. You know, like when they had the anniversary.
Yeah.
Huh?
With like a car that ate gas. Was probably like 10. You got 10
They
miles
all
of the
ate gas
gallon.
back then.
Yeah.
I think we had like $15 to $30 somewhere.
Not
in there.
even.
I know, and it was all between us. And we got all the way down to the Woodstock festival. It was pouring rain.
Yep, mud pits everywhere.
And we weren't even at the. I mean, it was cool that we were at the original, but really the fun one was at
Yeah,
the
with
one-
9 Inch Nails and
Yeah.
stuff that were setting towers on fire and shit.
Cranberries were
yeah.
playing.
Yeah, we were at the one with Woody Guthrie.
No, but at the
singing.
same time, they had the one that was in another area of New York, and the Cranberries were playing. It was more like there was like sliding down the like mud hills and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
That's one 9 Inch. I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about the one that was in Oneida, and it was like a nightmare where they're lighting shit on fire.
Hmm.
Because that was years after that one.
I don't know.
When you went to that festival, was there a dude that went kind of like, oh, prayer, yeah, not a something that is so man.
No,
Like that?
but that
No?
would have been amazing.
They were all old bands that were there, and we didn't really get to see any of them because the weather was so bad. It was dark when we got there. There was a lot of naked people walking around with like rain gear on.
And you could get like a burrito for $1.
Yeah, they had burritos, but it was an awesome trip. But then at the same time, because of the rain and because it was so late, and somehow we made it back without running out of gas, without having issues. I mean, we went to New York.
We
and
went to New York. We went to Canada, to Kingston with nothing, and we traded Marlboro cigarettes for gas money and stuff, if you remember, and Canadian cigarettes.
with cars that sucked so bad that
Cavaliers.
We're like, why would we think? Why did we think
3 miles to
Make
the
it.
gallon.
But we made it. We
I
made
know.
it, man.
I
And
think
and
we
you
had-
know what? If you had run into a school with that car, you'd still be able to get on the road and keep going.
It's true. And I have to give a shout out to our Canadian brethren for helping us out because they were
Yeah.
super kind, eh?
they were. Eh?
Yeah. Oh, and we could drink in Canada in the 90s. We were underage here, but we could go over there and drink pitchers of beer.
It was great.
It was great. I love just taking
Mhm.
off with no money. You can't do that shit now. You'd be screwed.
No one would do. I wouldn't even do it now.
The 90s were magical.
I think too.
They had a bit of magic, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of magic. I liked doing all the cemetery parties and all that. That was fun.
I
A lot
like
of fun.
driving up 13 curbs with our lights off,
Mhm.
driving up Gulf Road with our lights off.
And nobody ever saw anything on 13 Curbs and Gulf Road.
Nobody
No.
ever saw anything, but it was always scary.
I worked at Friendly's, and there was this chick I was working with, and she's like, let's go up to 13 Curbs, man. And we got her and a bunch of... it was me and nobody else I knew. And we all went into my car and went up to 13 Curbs. We get up to this like concrete bunker thing. I took my gum out and threw it on the ground, and she grabbed it and goes, don't do that. They'll put a spell on you. They'll take your gum and put a spell on you. And then she like pointed at the forest and went, what's that? And then we all ran into the fucking car, and I'm going backwards down the fucking 13 Curbs. And nothing happened. There was
Nothing.
no Sasquatch or no
No.
fucking,
Nothing.
no crow. Or...
We used to get into trouble all the time. I was always getting pulled over in my brown bomber.
Oh, that was bad. It was like they were targeting you.
I
it
was
seemed.
targeted because of my big brown bomber. But there was one time, one of the guys we were hanging out with, Steph was in the car with me. She jumped out of the car with this other J-maniac. Not this J-maniac, another one. And
How can he live up?
he can't. But he and her took all the shopping carts at the Price Chopper and lined them all up like dominoes, and then took my brown bomber to simply go up and just kind of tap it so that they would all fall like dominoes. So we got all excited. I mean, this took a little while for them to set this all up. I mean, we're talking every cart in the parking lot they gathered. It was late. Nobody was there. The store wasn't even open, I don't think. All of a sudden, as soon as we got
We just tapped the
to
cart.
tap the cart, just to tap it, not even like a 1 mile an hour. We were surrounded by police cars. Whoop. But I was like, what in the hell? And they were going to arrest the other guy that helped Steph Maniac set him up and put him in prison. Just for trying to play dominoes with the shopping carts, the Price Chopper. But the 90s were still great.
You know what? You bring up a funny thing when it comes to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring this shit up. There was one time where Disastra, Becca Maniac, I, and somebody else was in a car, and we're riding around the roads. We're going down the horizon with fucking listening to Freebird, and we light up a big ass joint. As we light up the joint, we come up to a hill. As I'm exhaling and we're coming down the hill, we can see a fleet of cops. And we have about 20 seconds. And we furiously start putting shit out and everything. We pull up to the fucking barricade. And the cop leans in and goes,
License and registration?
and I'm looking over at Beck, and she has a cigarette in her mouth, and she's looking straight ahead, and she's gripping the steering wheel. And he's going,
Ma'am.
and she's just puffing away, looking straight ahead.
I was freaking out, man. I was
And I'm
having
going,
paranoia
what?
will destroy ya is where I was at.
I'm going, Beck, give him the fucking license registration, man. And I look over at her, and she's doing the same exact thing.
I'm staring straight ahead because the only thing I could think is I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison.
I've never heard this.
And you have to understand, it was the most beautiful day as we were freebirding.
It really was.
It was like
yeah,
the sun
perfect.
was shining.
The weather.
Oh, we had the
Yep.
windows open. It was just like, and then all of a sudden it was like a freaking record scratch. License and registration.
By the luck of Jesus, Mary, and baby Jesus, we got through that. We gave him the license and registration, and we got through. When we're driving away, and I'm looking in the rearview mirror, I can't even fucking believe that we couldn't do anything any more guilty.
Right.
And there was nothing more guilty. It was like when the cops stopped fucking Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare and fucking Fargo. Peter Stormare is just looking straight ahead while they're asking for license registration. I don't know what luck we fucking conjured that day.
Jay, Beck and I were riding in her big bomber, the Oldsmobile. I think we were headed towards like Chittenango area, and she gets pulled over on this nothing road by a police officer, and literally she had the original radio, which had no tape deck.
Yeah, it was one of those push button old 1970s radios.
Yeah, you'd push it, and then you'd see the little like orange dial thing, like move shift to the side.
Yeah, it was. You could never be exact with that fucking thing.
Right.
So she had it pulled out, and when the police officer, shining his flashlight in the car, he thought she stole that thing. We're like, are you kidding me? Like, no one steals.
I was trying to replace it with a newer modern tape deck.
And she had like a butter knife, like a fancy butter knife in the car that you use, I think, to scrape something with, probably like your registration.
Yes.
He's like, what's that?
It's a
She's
weapon.
Like, a butter knife? What's that doing in your car? I like butter. I don't know.
I was always getting punked on, and I was always
It was
the driver.
That car. It was that car.
I don't know. I was in a different car going through the wonderful,
you were-
beautiful mountains with J Maniac.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I still got pulled over.
Wow.
Is that in the mountains when we were zigzagging through the Adirondacks and we
Yes.
saw a bear tied to the tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was it a bear or like a clown or something? Or
I have no idea, but it was a weird time.
we stopped and looked at it and went, got out of there.
Yes, we did. I remember that.
That's
The
funny.
90s was awesome.
The human has been neutralized.
Blockbuster, what do you want?
Mira, hello, ¿qué pasa? Do you have that movie like listen, I like that shit I'm fronting like that. You see that shit?
Yeah, that's great. How can I help you?
Do you have any movies with like flutes and shit?
I can check the system. I don't know any movies with flutes and shit off the top of my head.
I likes that Basic Instinct because it's sexy and shit. They slap like fucking slap that shit. I want some movie that's kind of like when Michael Douglas like, oh, can you reserve that shit for me, baby bitch?
We can't reserve anything. You can come here and look around.
Do I have lobsters? I liked that shit. We drink that shit. And then I slapped that shit off my table.
Right. Bye. Blockbuster, what do you want?
Oh, hi. Hello.
Yes.
Do you have any movies there with shoes? Hello?
I'm here, Blockbuster, bang bong.
Can you deliver to me? Because the last time I was there, I asked the lady for a movie and they were very rude to me. My feelings were very, very high.
Christ. Just come in and look around, all right? Like everybody else.
I would, but the last time I came in, there was this very scary man lurking around. And I said, "Sir, can you grab me that movie up there for me?" And he hit me. He beat me unmerciful. I knocked over all the popcorn in my teeth and my glasses fell off into the gummy bears and everybody laughed at me.
No, ma'am, we don't deliver.
Not a ma'am, I'm a sir. Ira Rosenstein, damn you.
I don't have time for this.
Don't be sore at me.
Bye.
So this is Where Were You when
Right.
Kurt Cobain died.
I was in Perkins having coffee and cigarettes. And I remember a kid in there having a total meltdown. I mean, it was a total dramatic meltdown. And he was like, no. And then he went running and people went after him. And it was like this whole commotion because he was going to go kill himself because he found out that Kurt Cobain died. And there was no
Very
internet,
dramatic.
I don't think, at that time. So I don't know how.
MTV News.
Oh, yeah. So someone must have, like, I don't know how he found out at the restaurant, but
Yeah, I think I found out on the news, and then in school we talked about it. I mean, I didn't make a big deal out of it, but I was shocked, and we always talked about the 28 Club or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he joined the 28 Club.
Right.
yeah.
But it was a big deal, but it didn't affect me, I think, like...
It didn't affect me other than it was sad because
Yeah.
I liked his music and him as an artist. I think Courtney murdered him. She's probably going to come after me, Courtney Love. I am dog farts. Dog.
Yeah, he really wants you. He really does. How about this one? Don't let the days go by. Vaseline.
Was it Vaseline?
No, it was Listerine.
That was a lycopene.
It's all the same nonsense, man.
Vaseline.
Glycerine.
Oh,
What's the chemical difference between glycerine and Vaseline?
and Listerine, for that matter. Holy shit, you're right, it is interchangeable.
Holy fuck.
Where were you when O.J. Simpson fucking did his little jobby job?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I was making fucking toast or some shit. My dad goes, come look. And he points at the TV and you see the white Bronco going.
Yes. Yeah, that was exciting to tune in on that chase.
That was I
Yeah.
love Broncos.
Really?
Yes. It's
I
like
thought-
I always wanted a white Bronco.
My cousin had a Bronco. It was a blue one, though. It was a piece of shit.
I always like the brown, like the tan and brown ones.
His axle just broke for no reason when we were driving down Onondaga Lake Parkway. Fuck Broncos.
Funk that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, switching from VHS to
Yes.
DVD.
That was a beautiful time, wasn't it?
Do you remember a specific time when somebody showed you a DVD or you saw a DVD?
It looked amazing. You were just like, oh, there's no more fast forwarding, rewinding, and waiting like forever. Don't you remember having to buy the extra little machine so you could rewind your tapes really
Yeah.
quick?
Oh, yeah.
It was like speed rewind.
I'm in Buffalo at film school, and I had a friend, Joe.
Buffalo
And he
Joe, shout out.
Buffalo Joe. You know Buffalo Joe, yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Rebecca Mildred's ex-boyfriend for a day.
Yeah. Yeah. He comes up into class and goes, dude, come to my house. And I go to his house, and he has this, like, CD player looking thing, and it's Goodwill Hunting. And it's the DVD. He goes, have you ever heard of a commentary before? And I go, what the fuck is that? And he hits it, and they're talking about the movie as you're watching it. And I couldn't believe that they're talking about it because there was no YouTube or anything to see behind the scenes or anything. And the clarity of the DVD, I just couldn't fucking believe it. And that you can skip instantly. You didn't have to rewind the physical tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family was always behind in everything. We never had technology like everyone else had. And it just no one cared about it. When everyone had VHSs, we had beta. So by the time everyone was like well advanced into, DVDs and CDs, we still had VHS and tapes and tape players for our music. To me, it was amazing. I really like it so much more, but now everything is streaming, and who doesn't love that even more?
That's true.
I like streaming way better than
You don't
having
have to have vast collections of shite.
I know, but when the world ends and aliens come down and we're all frozen into place because of a nuclear winter, they will come to my house and get my fucking VHS collection.
He's got the most extensive VHS collection of anyone I know in my entire life.
How many do you have?
Dude, it fucking collapsed on our friend at one point.
Really?
Like, it collapsed on Sonya. We were all sitting on the couch. I don't know what was happening behind us, but suddenly the tower collapsed and all these VHSs, fucking these VHS tapes, next thing you know, we're all on the floor.
I don't think you should
Because
say tower. I think you should say wall shelf that goes up the whole wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how many do you think you have? Ballpark it.
Movies in general, probably 5,000 or 6,000 maybe.
Oh
something
my
like that.
God.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
It's like walking into a Blockbuster Mini. I mean, I was still reeling from CDs, going from tapes to CDs towards the end. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
The technology is expanding, and now I have to pull out that tape deck again and put a CD player in. And remember, Jay, those old CD players used to skip over every bump, every nudge, every footstep.
Oh yeah, I bought like a $250 Sony package that came with a CD player, a remote, and this thing that you would Velcro to your dashboard and put the CD on top, and it would kind of like with springs would level it out, but it still fucking skipped.
And it was called
horrific.
anti-skip. Such bullshit.
Anti-skip, yeah.
Well, some of those fancy, like, stereo systems in people's cars that they'd have installed, not the factory ones,
Yeah.
would have remote controls. Like, who has the time to hold a remote control and change your music?
Well, because they had like several CD players loaded into that shit. They had like, they'd have to open their trunk and load in 12 discs.
Oh, that's right. They used to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that.
Yeah.
I never had that.
All the bass heads had it. Be like,
Oh, I remember riding in, was it your cousin's?
yeah.
Oh my God. It felt like it was going through your head and your chest.
You're listening to like Busta Rhymes just. I used to put Bjork in.
Really? That must have sounded amazing.
It was amazing. Bjork remix.
Did you ever blow your speakers from bass?
Yeah.
Back then in the car?
Oh yeah, and then you get that rattle.
What song did it for you?
That's a hard one to remember.
I used to play a lot the Bjork, the remix, the birthday song.
Yeah.
It was like boom.
That was Sugar Cubes. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I used to blow up my speakers on my Chevy Lumina.
Yeah.
You know what fucking song did it for me? Closer by 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the middle, when it went boom, boom, doom, boom, 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 choo, and like in the middle of the song, this crazy bass kicks in, and my speakers were rocking it for about like 6.5 seconds, and then they went, and then I just heard.
Oh no!
There's absolutely no bass. Yeah,
No,
fucking 9 Inch Nails blew it out with the heartbeat and fucking Closer.
You cannot pimp down the road with no bass at all.
They don't make cars with the bass like that anymore. I mean, like all the
Factory,
new cars
you mean?
yeah, they're not that great. I remember a long time ago, it has some good bass.
Yeah.
My Toyota Corolla sucks. You don't have a car right now, do you?
But the Hyundai Elantra sucks too. So you got to upgrade in order to get those good systems.
Maybe it's the countries that are making them don't have. That's not the first thing in mind. But I think if they made them here like they used to,
they would have the bass.
But I bet you some of the American cars have really good systems because we care about that stuff.
Yes, we do.
Jobs in the 90s were kind of different. Hay was terrible.
But they were more fun.
They were
like Empire Records.
They were like, you could have fun, make friends, dance, hang out. You could date your coworkers. You could do whatever. And now it's all very like, you cannot get away with saying anything, doing anything, talking about anything.
And no one talks at all. Like
no.
Kids do not talk to each other.
But back then we'd be like, you want to go see PJ Harvey in concert, man? Yeah, I saw her the other day. The jobs back then were like gas station jobs, Bruegger's Bagels, Dick's Sporting Goods, Hot Topic. What else did we have? Taco Bell.
Comic store.
Yeah, record stores. I worked at record stores. I worked at Media Play, Record Town. I loved working at the movie theater. Movie theater was so fun. You got to see everything.
Such a lucky bastard. Never got to do that.
Oh, it was great. I didn't get to do movie rental stores, though. That probably would have been a lot of fun. You guys remember Magic Eye galleries?
Yeah.
I was the only one that couldn't see. I was like that dude in Mallrats, just standing there the whole time staring at it going, I don't fucking
You couldn't see it?
No, I was
Really?
the only one. I still am the only one. My mother can see him and I can't.
Well, it's fucking painful, so, you know.
It's like your eyes are crossing a little bit when to see him. It's like it feels like your eyes are crossing.
I think I'm wired different. I don't think I could be hypnotized either, so there's that.
They used to have it every Sunday paper had one in it, like in the comic section.
It was a little blurry.
But you could eventually get it.
Those were
are
the
a
good
big
old
90s.
days. Yeah.
Do you ever notice too that there was something about a lot of the TV shows back then? There was these colors that they used, like teal. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it was like, why did this color scheme
like
come
Saved by
into-
the Bell colors?
Yeah, it just same thing with Full House.
Oh yeah,
it's like
Friends.
Yeah, they all had these same color schemes.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like I remember the 90s is like
weird pops of color.
Yeah, and
Wait, what was the one place? Pacific Sunwear?
Yes.
Pacific Sun?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a word that personifies the 90s?
Wicked.
That's a good one. I like wicked. Wicked cool.
Wicked rad. Wicked hot.
I came up with this shit, and it's so fucking hard to come up with one.
What is wrong with you two? You have to stop drinking.
I feel nothing.
Fucking straight edge.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll say wonder.
Wonder?
Yeah, Wonder Years. I got one for you. Or is it 80s? Smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
That was
80s.
Was that late 80s?
Yeah.
Informer.
Getting jiggy with it.
Jiggy?
Is that 90s?
Yeah. It was.
I don't know. Those are cheesy things from the 90s. Getting jiggy with it.
Steph's is, say it again.
Getting jiggy with it.
Na 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 na. And we just want to do a shout out to Jeff Jones from Dracula Jones for being super groovy and allowing us to use his music during this episode. So thank you, Dracula Jones. Our hats off to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff and Des and the crew. It helped make our episode extra special.
Hey, I'm Beck Maniac.
And this is Steph Maniac.
And hey, Jay Maniac, why don't you take us out?
Oh, hand down, festivities are ready for regalia. Umbrella Hall